wartime. Nation boot. Whose possesses slavery possesses the people that own us. Murder us. That's what it means to slay somebody. It means to kill them without any consideration. To slay us. Go ahead and hold themselves. Not guilty and hold themselves not guilty like this piece of garbage right here.
Push the agenda, you niggas cowards and pretenders. White flag to the white man, you surrender. Just remember, wicked niggas love to hang with sinners. Shit is disgusting and think it's cool to switch genders. Bruce Jenner, Babylon is falling, and one wish is prevalent. Bruce Lake's warbands on, we in our element. It's evident they killing out the evidence. Now with murderers, I pray the Lord send the pestilence and cause famine, wreak havoc and cause damage. Coronavirus shook up the earth, now watch them all panic, fighting through these curses that we live in. Prepare slaughter, complete the order when it's given. Yeah, these crackers crumble, we humble their activity. Yeah, for it is written that they shall go into captivity. Yeah, these devils must pay for their war crimes. Sell your garments and go and get a sword when it's wartime.
Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Hurt your loins when it's wartime. Out in one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Hurt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Your music can be stopped by a gun. They'll call a gun to come and kill you over your music. That's the world that you live in, man. Gun out of one gun when it's wartime. Can't be lukewarm, gotta make up your mind. If you ain't heard nothing, you better hit this rhyme. When it go down, you gon' have to be with your kind. Ain't no laughing, ain't no joking on the battlefield. If you don't follow the order, you can get us all killed. Ain't no thing to grab the block and burst and squeeze mine. You gon' learn to do it, not the second, but the first time. 223, 308, AR-15 rifle. Warring with the dragon like I'm the Archangel Michael. I got hand grenades, I pull a pin and throw it at you quicker. I can say a prayer and send them evil curses, now you see. If we do what the Lord tell us to do, Babylon will fall. I'm gon' do what Saul didn't do, and I'm gon' kill them all. It's time to kill, not heal, it's time to break them down, know who you are. Ain't no time to love, it's time to hate these heathens, time for war. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Hurt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Hurt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Hurt your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Lace your boots when it's wartime. Go and get a sword when it's wartime. Curse your loins when it's wartime. Out of one car when it's wartime. Even though you in the ghetto, even though you poor, even though you suffer, even though you ain't had a good education, even though you got the weight of the most powerful empire in the world on your neck, God is going to come and stop every bit of it. He's going to shut it down. But they better keep their distance, cause if they run up on us, it's gonna be an ugly day. We gon' fall on you faggots just like the Kentucky 8. Y'all niggas don't really want no problems, cause we got brothers on Shamardas itching to get to solve them. Pray to get the order just to follow it. We don't give a fuck about your pride, better swallow it. I'ma ride for my brothers and I die for this truth. Don't believe me, then you can be the proof, nigga. Fuckin' with my brothers, yeah we ride. Fuckin' with my brothers, yeah we ride.
your heartbeat. And you scared cause you know the bullets ripping through flesh like shark teeth. But you can catch the Yah Karar after you get your ass beat. We'll double back and finish the job. We can box it out and shoot shit. Whole team full of killers, don't push us cause we known to get ruthless. Welcome on smoke, we ain't hide, nigga. If you fucking with my brothers, then we ride, nigga. Fucking with my brothers, yeah, we ride. Fucking with my brothers, yeah, we ride. I get the order, yeah, I'm riding. Fucking with my brothers, yeah, we ride. Fucking with my brothers, yeah, we ride. Fucking with my brothers, yeah, we ride. I get the order, yeah, I'm riding. Fucking with my brothers, yeah, we ride.
All right, this is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. Let's clap it up. This is the Isupk. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm the Commander Junior Hunter. And what we do here is we teach Black Hispanics and Natives, Salakia, Black Hispanics and the Indigenous, their true heritage according to the Bible. Now, we teach the truth according to the Bible. Alright? And what we're going to talk about today is, again, this is Brotherhood class. And we have Brotherhood class every Tuesday. And we're going to talk about why it is so important for the nation of Israel to have brotherhood. Alright? You want to go ahead and address that now or at the end of class?
Sure, sir.
Alright. If you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Go ahead.
Okay.
We got a question in the chat already?
Khan, sir. The sister had a question. It says, if our children are turning against us and we are fighting these demons in them, how do I deal with them and their demons as a princess?
Alright, give me that one scripture, Bible Kushal, the one that says he is not willing to forsake mother, father, you know what I'm saying? Let me get that precept.
No sweat.
Bible Kushal. If you could, read the question again, Bible Kushal.
No sweat. The sister asks, if our children are turning against us and we are fighting these demons in them, how do I deal with them and their demons as a princess?
All right, sis. To answer your question, I mean, I know you love your child, all right? And so what we do is, like the scriptures say, train up a child in the way they should go, and when he's older, he will not depart. Now, a lot of us, have come into this truth, having children, who's grown up in Christmas, grown up celebrating Thanksgiving. And when we come into this truth, what we have to do is we're going to naturally, teach our child, what we're learning, all right? But some of our children are at an age, to where they are used to a certain way of living, all right? What we do is, again, we try to, teach our child, as we learn. But sometimes, your child, like you say, is going to rebel against you and is not going to want to, adhere, to what you're trying to teach them, this new way of living, all right? And so what's important is that you try to teach your child, all right, what's right. As far as, this truth, you try to teach your child, about this truth, as you learn it. But again, sometimes, your children, we have teenagers and things like that. They're not going to, want to, give up these things that we are willing to give up. So if your child is rebelling and you're trying to, because really, you can fight. So when your child is fighting these demons, and you're trying to, to fight those demons, with that child, sometimes, you're going to have to, walk that situation out. You're going to have to try to, if that child does not want to, is not ready to come into this truth, if that child is not ready to, give up, all these things, that they grew up in, says you're going to have to work on you. You're going to have to worry about getting yourself right.
That's right.
All right? You concentrate on you first. And then, you pray to the Most High, that child, eventually, will want to learn about this truth. Will want to come and serve the Most High. You got that scripture?
Matthew chapter 10, verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
He that loveth his mother or father more than him is not worthy of him. Read.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
So if you're going to love your son or daughter more than the Most High, then you're not worthy of the Most High. We're here to serve the Most High.
Right.
And if our children, don't want to get in line, if they don't want to follow the Most High, well, then we continue to serve the Most High, and we continue, to serve the Lord. And we're going to pray that that the Lord, has mercy on our child. We're going to pray that the Lord will touch that child again and make him, or open up his eyes, to this truth. So that's how you handle that situation, sis. You pray for that child, and then also, like I said, you worry about, keeping these laws, statutes, commandments. So, and like the scriptures say, if you're not willing to forsake your son, your daughter, then you're not worthy of the Most High. Go ahead, priest.
And just to add to all the points that were brought out by the priest, the first thing to always do is, depending on the nature of the situation, is to seek counsel. Because depending on the demon that the child is dealing with, depending on the demons that you're fighting, you want to get counsel from the men above you. You know what I'm saying, that have experience in these matters, that can give you a specific course of action to take to address that specific situation. You know what I'm saying? There's not always a one-fix-all solution for everything, and matters have to be judged as they're presented. So, always seek counsel.
Damn right, sis. And what that priest said was 110% correct. Always seek counsel, with any matters, that you have. All right? Is there any more questions in that chat? It's a lot. It says, hopefully, we answered that question.
No, that was it, sir.
That was it?
Yes, sir.
All right, and Thawada for that, priest. And Thawada says, for your question again. Hopefully, we was able to answer it. If you need, anything expounded on anymore, you can go ahead and let us know. So now we're gonna just jump into it, and like I was asking, like why is brotherhood so important, for the nation of Israel? We've been in captivity over 500 years, all right? And in this captivity, we have been beaten into the dust, all right? We have been, the scriptures say, I'm paraphrasing, it says, to the yoke of iron, Salaki, what's that scripture? You know what I'm saying? It says, I'm just trying to paraphrase it, you know what I'm saying? It says that they will keep us, in chains, or keep that.
I got it right.
Okay, the water, please.
All right, no sweat, sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48, and it reads, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee."
The water, please. It said we will have a yoke of iron upon our necks until he destroyed us. And over 500, years of slavery, that yoke of iron physically has been removed from our neck. And why has it been removed from our neck? Because we are destroyed as a people. This nation that the Lord sent against us has done one hell of a job in destroying, the nation of Israel. And this oppressor, after 500 years, he has taken our heritage, he has taken our identity, he has taken everything from us, and he is such a wicked oppressor that even after 500 years, they have not even tried to give us our nationality back, our heritage back, our identity back. So what does that tell you? Even today, they still want us destroyed. These other nations round about, they follow suit after this oppressor that we're serving under in this captivity.
That's right.
They don't want to see us without, they don't want to see us come up out of this captivity. So all these other nations are against us.
Right.
And that's why brotherhood is so important, because no one is going to fight for us.
That's right.
No one is going to lend us a helping hand and say, these people are destroyed and they need our help. No one is going to do that. So why it is so important for us to show brotherhood towards one another is because we are our only hope.
That's right.
We are each other's only hope.
Right.
And now we're living still in this captivity, in this kingdom, and instead of gathering together and coming against our oppressor, and I don't mean physically trying to go against our oppressor. I mean getting together as a nation of people, loving one another, so we can, fight against this oppression.
Right.
So we can stop stop these other nations from trying to destroy us. If we were together and we were to come together as one, do you think it would be easy for these nations and this kingdom to gentrify our neighborhoods?
Right.
Do you think it would be easy for them to kick us out of our own neighborhoods and come and put their store, and even living in those neighborhoods while we're living in there, come in there and suck out all our resources? They're the ones putting up the stores in our neighborhood. Every day the black businesses are getting smaller and smaller in our communities. Why? Because someone from another nation is coming to open up another store in our neighborhood.
That's right. Right.
And even after all this oppression, we turn around and instead of loving our own people, showing brotherhood to our own people, we want to call every other nation a brother.
Right.
Doesn't matter what they've done, we can turn the other cheek and look at this other nation as a brother. And I got you, priest. And what it is we suffer from what they call Stockholm Syndrome.
That's right.
Do me a favor, priest. Read the definition of Stockholm Syndrome.
Come on, sir. Stockholm Syndrome is a condition in which hostages develop a psychological bond with their captors during captivity.
It said it's a condition in which hostages. Were we not taken hostage as a people?
Right.
When you forcefully take another people from one land to another land against their condition, you have taken those people captive.
Right.
Or hostage. And it said once you do that, you develop what they call a psychological bond with the captors during the captivity.
That's right.
And there's no other excuse or no other explanation for why we love our captors today. Why we want to join with our captors today. Because after 500 years, it's become a psychological bond that we've made with our captors. You wanted to say something, Priest?
Oh, John, I was just going to say, like, what you're saying is so heavy because, you know, we won't go break bread with a black business because their prices are a few dollars higher, or maybe they don't give you enough oxtail gravy or this and that, but they are happy to go spend, they're happy to break the bank at the Habibi and spend $5 on a gallon of milk.
Right.
Or $10 on a gallon of milk. If you live in New York, the prices are of course higher. If you live in Cali, the prices are of course higher. And we got over 100,000 goddamn Afghanistanis coming over here with visas, $100,000, $10,000 loans, and that's what they're finna do. They're finna open up every corner store, gas station, the small business, and you're gonna go break bread with all these people who never gave a damn about you, black, Hispanic, and Native American man. But you are hated. You love these people who have nothing to do with you, who don't care about you or support anything, who would never put $1 on your books if you were in jail, right. who would never come and see you or this, that, or the other, and would demonize you in the news at the drop of a hat, but you wouldn't come and do it, and you wouldn't come to the mom and pop shop. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't come to that small brother or sister's business. They starting out there on the internet doing this. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of the Stockholm syndrome that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians have, man. We love who hate us. We love the people who use us and abuse us and have advantage over us instead of loving those who are captive with us, loving our brothers and sisters and loving our family as it should be and as God commands.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
No, damn right. Every point, Priest. Because this is the thing. Any nation, I don't care who it is, if someone broke into their home, if someone terrorized them, if someone committed crimes against their family, they're going to want justice. Because that's natural to want justice for crimes that are done against you.
Right.
And nobody is wrong for wanting justice. The only people that are demonized for wanting justice is blacks, natives, and the indigenous. Blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous. We can't cry out for justice because when we cry out for justice, now we're spreading hate. When we want to talk about the crimes committed against us, they don't want us to talk about them because now we're spreading hate.
Right.
But again, if something happens to them, they're demanding justice. They want their justice. Somebody has to pay. All these nations are against us.
Right.
And the only way that we're going to survive these other nations is if we come together. Read that for me. I started the number one emotional bond.
Emotional bonds may be formed between captors and captives during intimate time together, but these are generally considered irrational in light of the danger or risk endured by the victims.
Listen, this is common sense. And they're letting you know right here that to create that emotional bond with your captors, with your oppressors, with your enemy, is irrational. Why is it irrational?
In light of the danger or risk endured by the victim.
Because of the danger and the risk endured by the victim.
Right.
There is a danger to us.
That's right.
As black, Hispanics, and the indigenous.
That's right.
And you don't run to danger. You don't try to bond with danger. What's a natural emotion or a natural reflex when we see danger and when danger is in our presence?
It's called fight or flight.
To fight. What else?
Flight.
Flight. To either stand up and protect yourself against that danger or run and get away from that danger.
That's right.
But as Black, Hispanic, and the indigenous, we run to danger.
That's right.
We run to the ones who want to cause danger to us. And that's not natural. It is an irrational behavior. And like I said, these other nations don't give a damn about us.
Right.
And they are going to continue to try and destroy us until we're just wiped off the face of the planet. That's their mission. Like we always talk about, they have to destroy us so they can stay on top.
Right.
Because once we start to come together and form a bond with the ones, you know, who love each other, once we start to form that bond with our own, then they're going to sense danger. They're going to start to sense that we are putting their status in danger.
Right.
Their position in danger. Again, this oppression has been going on for over 500 years. And it's going to continue to go on unless we come together and start to love one another.
That's right.
Start to have compassion for one another like we have for these other nations. Start to be able to forgive each other like we do these other nations. America has built this country on the backs of Blacks, Hispanic, and Natives.
Right.
This country does not exist without Blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous. And they know it. And they know that's why they won't give us back our heritage. If they say, you know what, we know precious people, you know, for far too long, you know, it's time to help these people out, you know, it's time to give them their culture back, time to give them, you know, their heritage back, time to help them, you know, get on their feet.
Right.
You know why they won't do that? Because now who's going to, you know, buy all the things that they're selling us to destroy us? Who's going to buy all their drugs?
Right.
Who's going to buy all their guns?
Right. They're damn, who's gonna buy all the cigarillos, you know what I'm saying?
The cigarillos, the cigars, the cigarettes,
fake chains, the
everything.
you know, all the little things in this nation.
Not only was this country built off blacks, this country sustains and it rises off the back of blacks.
That's right.
We take our dollar and like he said, we won't spend it with our own brother. We go and we spend it with our enemy. We want to go buy all the things, you know. I mean, listen, the scriptures say that we will go and be in want of all things from our enemy.
Right.
It's prophesied in the scriptures that that's what we will be doing. And damn sure today, that's what we do. We go and spend how long does a dollar stay in the black community? Salaki, anyone know?
6 seconds.
Yeah.
A dollar stays in the black community 6 seconds.
Damn.
And we are worth billions a year in spending. Just imagine what we could have for ourselves if we use, go ahead.
Trillions,
Salakia, trillions in spending. And this oppression has turned blacks, Hispanic, the Native, the indigenous, they have turned us into animals.
Right.
That's right.
Because we've been oppressed now, I don't have a problem, you know, going to rob my brother for $1. I don't have a problem going to rape this sister. I don't have a problem going to murder this brother. I don't have a problem doing that to my own people. Why? Because it's every man for himself. What they say, you living in a concrete jungle. It's every man, you know, for himself in this jungle.
Right.
Go ahead, priest.
What you're saying is so heavy, priest. The reason you gotta go scrape and scrounge and steal and sell drugs to make it through the ghetto, because as soon as you make $1, you go spend it with another man. You go spend it with another nation instead of your mother, your sister, your auntie, man. And you sending the money you make off of your brothers and sisters' backs. They drug addiction and they vices. You prostituting your sisters and buying box and things like that just to go give that money to an Arab man or Gucci or Louis Vuitton or whoever these devils might be. That's the reason why we're poor. That's the reason why we're poor, because even though we might be Cameron with the pink, you know, we might be balling and made it, but we don't feel like we made it till we got a Gucci belt. We don't feel like we made it till we spent that money gave that money to a white man and got what his product is, instead of spending it with our brothers and sisters, man. Right. Instead of building ourselves up, and that's why we stay poor and get poorer. So what you're saying, priest, is so heavy, because without that brotherhood, like the lack of brotherhood leaves us lacking, and with brotherhood we get more from it. You know.
Go ahead, priest.
Yeah. So just to add to the priest's point and to your point, you said that that we've turned into animals, that they made us animals, and it's heavy because you have wild animals and domesticated animals. You know what I'm saying? And you already brought it out about the wild animals. It's the law of the jungle. You know what I'm saying? It's kill or be killed. It's either be the predator or be the prey. Right. You know what I'm saying? But on the other side of that coin, though, you know, we also domesticated, because it's heavy, man. You know, we don't look at the Arab man in the bodega as an enemy. You know what I'm saying? As long as he use a little bit of slang with us, he know a couple rap songs. He's selling the bootleg CDs in the store, and he can use some of our vernacular, some of our how we you know, express some of our culture or whatever a little bit. Then we'll stamp him. He'll be okay with us. Same for the Chinese man. Every time I go into a Chinese hair shop, the Asian woman is talking like my sisters talk. Right. They're not doing that unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? If you go to the little corner store that, you know, that sell the little sweatpants or the sweat shorts, they ain't there talking about like, oh, you know, you going to the club tonight? What club you going to? They talking with you as if you're family, as if y'all the same flesh, and they do that on purpose because they don't want us to see the Confederacy. Because see, we think that the Confederacy is some Southern white men with that Confederate flag, you know, missing teeth and mudding on four-wheelers and stuff, man. You understand? And drinking back Miller Lights, man. Right. But the scriptures tell us in Psalm 83 what the Confederacy is, man. Right. You understand? Right. It was all nations, man. You understand? It's all nations, man. They all conspire to work against us. And like the priest was bringing out earlier, man, we don't want to rely on our brother because he doesn't look established. He don't look set up yet. You understand? We rather go through the established pipeline. But what we don't realize is that, like the priest brought out earlier, when they come to this country with them visas, they're not just getting access to be temporary citizens, right, in this country. They're also getting business loans. They're also getting commercial locations. They're also getting deferred loan payments for 2 and 3 years until their business is established. Right. Why? Because they know the pipeline of resources is in the ghetto. It's in the hood. It's a guaranteed deal, man. It's not even, listen, when you go into business, you have something called risk management. All right, you have to go ahead and punch in the numbers, look at the demographics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got to see, you know, is this area going to be sustainable for me to do business and have growth every quarter? But when you go into the black community, knowing that our dollar only circulate every 5 minutes, like the sister said, then it's a guarantee. It's not even Las Vegas. It's a guaranteed win, man. You know what I'm saying? You betting on a sure horse, man. When you put a foreigner, a stranger in our community, he's going to rise above us, man. Because we don't want to do what the priest is bringing out in this lesson, man. Show brotherhood, man. You understand? Build from the ground up. Salakia.
Hey, no sweat. Yeah, I'm right. That's a heavy point. Go ahead,
real quick. Just to piggyback off what the priest said is so heavy, because once they set up these bodegas in our communities and these hair shops and these nail salons, they like you said, they try to be like us. And we so quick to accept them because they try to be like us. And they know that. You know what I'm saying? But why we can't accept people who really are us? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of going to these other countries, these other people that don't give a damn about us, man. You know what I'm saying? They only use us for money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Say, okay, too, in our community. You know what I'm saying? But no sweat. I'm just picking back with what the priest was saying. No
sweat. Like that's heavy because, you know, That's a form of warfare,
Right.
that these other nations are taking against us. And we're not even opening our eyes to what's happening.
Right.
We thinking, oh, everybody just trying to make a living. When the last time, a nigga been able to go over there to Saudi Arabia and open up a damn business?
Right.
That's it.
When the last time you been able to go over there to China and open up a business?
Right.
But yet and still, it got to be, by the thousands, weekly that these other nations are coming into our country and establishing things for them, their family, and their nation.
That's right.
And then we sit there again and we take every dollar that we take from our brother and our sister and we go give it to, our enemies.
Right.
Like the priest brought out. We're so busy, accepting people trying to be like us, but refuse to gather together and love the ones that are us.
Right.
I mean, everybody, we've all had it hard. We've all been oppressed. We've all, have suffered the effects of this slavery. And we've done it together. And look at where we at. We still strong. After 500 years, we're still strong as a people. This nation has not been able to destroy us fully.
Right.
They've done a hell of a job in destroying us. Don't get me wrong, a hell of a job. But we still fighting. Let me get that definition of oppression, Baba Kushal.
Oppression. Oppression occurs whenever one person exercises authority or power in an unfair, abusive,
In a what?
unfair, abusive, cruel, or needlessly controlling way.
For example, what?
For example, slavery.
And see, they know that we've been oppressed because can't nobody say that description does not fit the blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous.
That's
Right.
Can nobody say that someone in authority has not treated us unfair, abusive, or needlessly controlling way? No one can deny that.
Right.
But what does this nation do? Do we hear an apology? Do we get some help?
Right.
Do we get anything? What do they tell us to do? Shut up and dribble.
Right.
Damn.
We don't want to talk about this. We're not going to discuss this. They're teaching our children now that we came over here, that the blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous have came over here as migrant workers.
Right.
That's what they're teaching in the school. The scriptures say shame will cover them. And they are ashamed.
Right. Right.
But even though they're ashamed, I'm going to tell you how wicked they is. Even though they're ashamed, they still continue to do it.
Right.
And so how long are we going to continue to let them do it? Or how long are we going to continue to accept it? Because it isn't much that's required of us. Only thing that's required of us is to love one another.
Right.
Because now you tell that oppressor, you can't sell my brother drugs. And what's even deeper than that, my brother says, I'm not going to buy your drugs.
Right.
Right.
We stop spending our money with these devils. What do y'all think happens to this economy?
Collapses.
When you take trillions of dollars out this economy, it's like it has no choice but to collapse.
Right. That's right.
Let me get James 5 and 16. There is never a time needed more than now for us to come together as a nation. We're approaching the finish line right here. Because that kingdom that Christ promised to come is very, very close.
Right.
We see what's going on with our own eyes. We see this kingdom falling. So now is not the time to go to war with each other as a nation. Now is not the time to not have understanding for our brothers,
Right.
our sisters. Now is not the time to lack compassion for one another.
Right.
Now is the time to kick that thing up in 5th gear and go harder than we ever went.
Right.
You got that?
Concept.
Read that from me, Brother Christian.
Book of James, chapter 5, verse 16. Confess your faults one to another.
Confess your faults to one another. If you wronged a brother or a brother done wronged you, it's time to confess our faults to one another.
Right.
So we can go ahead and talk this thing out like men, like women. Read.
And pray one for another.
And pray for one another. Because this condition that we're in right now, we need help. The nation of Israel needs help.
Right.
Read.
That ye may be healed.
That you may be healed, because this confessing of faults to one another, this coming and sitting a brother down and having a Matthew, you know what I'm saying, 18:15 Salakia, and being able to pray for one another, what it's going to do is going to heal us.
Right.
Because right now we're in a condition to where, again, we're destroyed. And we need to be healed. And confessing our faults and praying for one another is going to heal us. Read.
The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
The effectual fervent. What does fervent mean?
Passion.
Damn right. Fervent means passion. So to affectionately, you know what I'm saying, the effectual passionate prayer of a righteous man availeth much. If you're sincere about praying for your brother,
Right.
if you're sincere about, you know, working things out with your brother, then that is going to avail us.
Right.
That is going to allow us to rise above all this madness and all this wickedness that's being done to our people.
Right.
Let me get Proverbs 27:17. Because what's that? What's the movie? New Jack City. We all we got.
Right.
We all we got.
Right.
And that's evident because we'll go to our enemies and ask for help. We'll go to our enemies hoping that they'll have compassion on us.
Right.
But what happens to us? Does our enemy show us compassion? They go harder. They continue to shoot us down in the streets. They continue to oppress us. They continue to, you know, they continue to project this systematic racism on us.
Right.
This is a plan. This isn't something, you know, that is just happening. They sitting in their back offices and they are conjuring up more schemes and more plans to destroy us as a nation.
Right.
Because some of these schemes right here might work, and some might not work as well. And they see that after 500 years, they still have not destroyed us. So now they go back to the drawing board. And they say, well, what in the hell else can we do to these people? And then we just continue to fight. We continue to survive. Name me another nation who could have gone or who could go through these conditions, withstand these conditions, and still be standing right now. It ain't your oppressor.
Right.
Because when they go through light things, they jumping off of buildings.
Right.
They try to overthrow the government every time they feel slightly oppressed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They, from the Boston Tea Party, they overthrew, you know, overthrew with the 13 colonies, overthrew Britain and all that, you know.
Right.
That can't be them.
These other nations, then, you know, they'll get a gun and blow their brains out.
Right.
And they not even oppressed. They just might have, a situation that just don't go their way.
Right.
Or they might, suffer from a little bit of bad luck or something. And they go and get that thing, put it in their mouth and blow the back of their brains out. But you see us, we fight and we survive and we continue to fight and survive in this wicked kingdom. And now, the Lord is raising us up, giving us back our nationality, giving us back our culture, giving us back our identity.
Right.
And now we becoming stronger.
That's right.
I don't know about these other, groups, I don't know about anybody else, but I know in the Isupk, we don't fear no man.
That's right.
We come out here and we tell our oppressor what they doing, and we let our people know what our oppressor is doing to us, and we tell them to open up their, their eyes, and we teaching them the truth according to this Bible.
Right.
And we don't care what anybody has to say about it. Right. You can block our channels, you can try to keep us off the corners, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. But when the Lord says something has to happen and he gives an order, then it's going to happen. You got that up?
Go with God, sir.
Read that for me, Buck, sir.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 17. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
So as that iron makes that iron stronger, when you know what I'm saying, hitting that iron together, to make it stronger, that's what we have to do for each other. We have to be there for each other and make each other stronger. Because what it said does, it sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
Right.
It makes that man, it makes that friend stronger. It makes that friend be able to hold up his head and be proud. It makes that friend be able to hold up his head and be strong.
Right.
And that's what we have to do for one another. Because nobody's going to do it for us. And we shouldn't be depending on our enemies to provide that for us.
Right.
Your enemy is called your enemy for a reason. An enemy is not your friend. An enemy is not there to see you succeed.
Right.
Your enemy is not there to help you. Your enemy got one job, and one job only. Anybody know what that is? To destroy you. That's what your enemy job is. But like the scripture said, there was one beast that was more subtle than the other beasts in the field.
Right. Right.
So he has, come up with these crafty ways to destroy us.
Right.
He has come up with these ways to destroy us right in our face. In ways that might not seem so obvious to us. But again, we suffer from Stockholm Syndrome.
Right.
We suffer from a disease that is irrational, to us.
Right.
And we're trying to get up out of that condition.
That's right.
And that's why Commander General Yohana is raising up these priests and prophets to raise our people up out of these conditions.
Right.
Let me read this for me. The effects of oppression on mental health. Because whether you believe it or not, our people suffer from mental health problems.
That's right.
Whether it's PTSD,
PTSD.
PTSD. Most of the time, whether, it's these other mental, health issues that we have that they don't attribute to our slavery, attribute to our oppression. We go through these things.
Right.
And nobody wants to address them. And nobody wants to look at them and take them as real issues.
Right.
If you go over there to Afghanistan and you hear all these guns going off in the middle of the night, you hear all these rockets and bombs going off in the middle of the night, what do they come back to the United States with?
PTSD.
PTSD. We got a little Chirac in America.
Right.
We got a little Afghanistan in America. Why do they call them these names? Because we're suffering from all these things. We're suffering from wars in our own communities.
Right.
Can we go to Veterans Affairs?
Right.
I mean, we soldiers, you know what I'm saying, ain't we? Only these soldiers are the ones fighting wars, you know, in their communities, right? Can they go to Veteran Affairs and get treatment? Where do these people go to get treatment?
Right.
Where can they go to get treatment from the mental health issues that they are suffering in these conditions?
Right.
Where can they go? I only know one place, and that's the Isupk
That's
under
right.
Commanding General Yohana.
That's right. Yeah.
That's where we retreat to. That's where we can flee to go get treated. That's where we can take our problems to.
Right.
That's right.
Because again, you know, this oppressor don't give a damn about us. Because if he did, he would say, you know what? All these things going on in this community, these people need help.
Right.
We need to get them some medical help,
Right. Mental.
some mental help, psychological help. Listen, I ain't the smartest person in the world, but I know when someone is sitting back and watching the things that are happening,
Destruction.
all the destruction that is happening to our people, and sit back and just watch it,
Right.
I know they don't give a damn about me.
That's right.
Right.
And they damn near, you know what I'm saying, as responsible as the people that are doing it.
That's right.
Don't they have a law that if you're sitting back and you watching when someone is getting, you know, a crime committed against them, and they just sitting back and watching, they can be charged or held liable for that crime?
Right. And
Isn't that a law?
in a lot of cases, they call that aiding and abetting. It's like you helped them get away with it.
Right.
You didn't tell. You didn't. You know.
Well, everybody is aiding and abetting the crimes that this kingdom is committing against the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Everybody is responsible. Everybody is a culprit.
That's right.
And what's even worse is some of our own people are culprits. Some of our own people, you know, are helping this oppressor destroy us further.
Right.
Why? So they can feel like they're not being oppressed.
Right.
So they can feel like they're not the ones going through what we're going through.
Right. Get a few dollars. Sure.
For a few dollars.
Right.
And then even when they give you the few dollars, they'll tell you, you're not sitting at this table.
That's
This
right.
table's not for you. We just needed your help to destroy your people.
That's right.
We'll make you feel like you're accepted. But you're not going to none of their secret society meetings.
Right.
You're not going to none of these backdoor meetings where they're discussing destroying our people.
That's
You're
right.
not invited to those places. You're not invited to those meetings. It's an NNA, no niggas allowed meeting.
Goddamn.
Salaki, let me get some of these. Read that for me. The effects of oppression on mental health.
The effects of oppression on mental health. Members of an oppressed group that experience oppression for sustained periods of time may also begin experiencing internalized oppression.
So it says members of an oppressed group that experience oppression for a sustained period of time. Would 500 years be considered a sustained period of time?
Right.
Right, that's what I thought. Periods of time may also begin to experience internalized oppression. So what that's saying is, if you're experiencing oppression for a sustained time, you're going to start to oppress your goddamn self.
That's right.
Right.
Dang, goddamn.
Damn.
That sounds like blacks to me.
Y'all let that sink in for a second. If someone is oppressing you for a sustained period of time, after that, you're going to begin to start oppressing yourself. Does that not sound like what we read in Deuteronomy? like they're going to destroy us. You know what I'm saying? Until the yokes of iron, till the yokes of iron are removed from our neck.
Right.
They can take the yokes of iron off. They can take them off. Why? Because now these group of people are going to oppress themselves. We done had them in oppression for so long, they're going to start to oppress themselves. They're not going to want to be a free people.
Right.
They're not going to want to gather together as a nation of people. They're going to want to buy our drugs. They're going to want to buy our guns. They're going to want to kill each other like we're killing them. Exactly what we're doing, they're going to want to do.
Right.
We just have to set the example. That's what our enemy is saying. We set the example and we oppress them for a sustained period of time, they're going to start oppressing themselves.
Right.
Continue reading that.
Okay. Internalized oppression is a term used in psychology.
So this is a term that's used in psychology. This is not anything that we're making up. This is this oppressor describing their research, their facts. Read.
Internalized oppression is a term used in psychology and sociology to describe when a member of an oppressed group begins accepting the views of the
Begins
oppressed.
to what?
Accepting the views of the oppressors as reality.
Read that again.
Baba Kashal read that again. Let's start from the term used in psychology.
Internalized oppression is a term used in psychology and sociology to describe when a member of an oppressed group begins accepting the views of the oppressors as reality.
That's it.
You begin to oppress yourself. Because now, the views that your oppressor has, now they become your views.
Right.
Now, you can teach these people whatever you want to teach them, and they'll accept it. Because they have begun internalized oppression. Is it not important that we come together as a people right now?
Right.
Is it not a time, more than any other time, that we need to come together right now?
Right.
Did not Martin Luther King start to internalize oppression?
God damn.
Did he not, begin to see the views, of our oppressor? Malcolm X took a trip, came back. Did he not start to see some of the views, agree with some of the views, or accept some of the views as our oppressor? Before, the white man was the devil. Now he come back and everybody can get along with each other, right? Go ahead, Priest.
Salakia. You know what you just brought out is so heavy because who hasn't heard, because of Christianity and because of the oppression that blacks, Hispanics, and natives have suffered, they're caught in the middle of two contradicting arguments. God loves everybody, and the white man is the devil. That the white man is the devil and the psychopath that the earth sees and speaks of, man.
Right.
So you everybody gets the conversation that, when you go out, don't do this, don't do that. If the police pull you over, act like this, don't do that, don't do that. And really, at the end of the day, none of it matters, man. None of it really matters, because you can be killed whether you're wearing a uniform or doing the right thing, doing the wrong thing, in the right neighborhood, in the wrong neighborhood, just because you're black and just because you're oppressed, you're susceptible to the evils and the wiles of the devil, man.
That's right.
But that's not taught, because we oppress ourselves. We oppress ourselves into thinking that the oppressor really thinks of us as equals, and we believe the lie that he teaches us, and that he spoon feeds us and has fed us since slavery and after slavery. And it's crazy to hear that in every fabric of study of psychology that this is told, that this is taught. Like Jim Crow taught that after you take the man out the house and you just traumatize the mother and the children, they'll keep your program going for years on years. But what you're saying, they will oppress themselves. You don't even really got to be on top of them like that. Right. And this is something that's commonly known in psychology. To hear that is astounding, and every Black, Hispanic, and Native American should hear this and recognize it and realize that this is talking about the lifestyle that they've lived through their ghetto and their barrio and their reservation. This is why they're on the bottom and unable to reach and attain a livable, sustainable lifestyle, because they won't hold all the way onto the truth that, one, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
That's right.
And two, until you realize that and really recognize that and make moves and get with your brothers and sisters to avoid it, that's all you're going to be, prey to. You're going to be prey to your enemies and your oppressors. Salakia.
No, damn right. And that's heavy because, again, unless we decide to come back to these law, statutes, and commandments and follow what the Most High says, then we are, going to be prey for these other nations.
That's right.
And that's how these other nations view us, as prey.
Right.
Stay in your place. And we're going to take your resources.
Right.
We're going to suck you dry for everything that you have. Why? Because this is what we taught you. This is the view that we taught you. And because we suffer from internalized oppression, you're going to like it. And you're going to agree with it. And it's heavy because, like, nowadays, when it comes to us, it's show and prove.
Right.
You got to back up what you're saying. But with these other nations, is they can say whatever they want to say and we take them at their word. They tell us all men are created equal and then murder us by alarming rates.
Right.
They tell us that all men are created equal, but still have on the books in their records that we're 3/5 of a man.
Right.
They'll tell you that you created equal,
Little rights.
but then tell you, shut up and dribble.
Right.
We don't need you to comment, on social events, that's going on. We pay you to dribble at basketball. That's what you do. But all men are created. If all men are created equal, where are the minority basketball owners? Where are the minority baseball owners? Where are the minority Fortune 500 companies? If all men are created equal.
Right.
Before these people, they start throwing these PPP loans out like frisbees, a black man couldn't, it was hell trying to get a business loan.
Right.
He couldn't just go down to the bank and say, hey, I want to apply for a business loan and get a business loan. He couldn't go and say, I want to get a mortgage for my house and get the same, interest rates or the same, privileges that his counterpart would get. But all men are created equal. Right. We take them at their word, but we don't make them show and prove. But when it comes to our brothers, you got to show me. You won't even, give your brother the benefit of the doubt. You're not giving your brother no loan without him having to, give something up. You're not doing nothing for your brother. So let's finish that on out right there. The person experiencing
internalized oppression may allow their oppressors to shape their worldview.
There ain't no may in that. I know black, Hispanics, and indigenous, we have allowed our oppressor to shape our worldviews.
That's right.
Everything he says, we're in agreement with. Even today, you ask our people, why do you celebrate man's holidays and not God's holy days?
Right.
That's in the Bible. And you know what they'll tell you? Oh, well, that's between you and the Lord. America has shaped their views. America has shaped their views on how they should treat one another. America, has shaped their views on how we're supposed to live. Finish reading that from the upper show.
Begin to hold an oppressive view toward other members of their same group or a combination thereof.
Listen, we start going at it with each other. We come out here, and tell you what's thus saith the Lord. We teach you the truth of the Bible. But what do y'all do? Oh, no, my pastor said y'all crazy. My pastor say, y'all in a cult. Instead of, saying, you know what? That's my brother. Let me sit down and listen to him. And then what's heavier than that is we show them everything in the Bible. We show it to them. We don't give them our opinions. We don't give you 2 scriptures, close the book, and give you a motivational speech for the week. We give you thus saith the Lord right out of the scripture.
Right.
And then what do they do? Oh, everybody got their own interpretation. The scriptures say there is no private interpretation. Go ahead, please.
Oh, so like if I could real quick, the way that we choose to live under this oppression it's parallel to like how we look at homeless people. Like, the homeless man on the corner, he just with his sign and with his cup begging for change. And then we like, man, we look at them like, get a job, like, why don't you just go down there, fill out a couple applications, clean yourself up, use the money you getting to clean yourself up rather than drinking yourself to death for doing drugs. But we do an exact same thing. Like, instead of following these laws, statutes, and commandments and deciding to be like, you know what, I'm not going to sell drugs. I'm not going to do drugs. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to love my people and separate from my oppressor. We're doing the exact same thing by saying, well, we living in hell right now, so, only God could judge me. We got to get it how we live. I'm going to sell these drugs because this is, the only way we got. We in oppression. You know what I'm saying? That's parallel to how a homeless man think. We are the homeless. We are the bottom of this society. So like that's all.
No, that's heavy, priest. You damn right. But let me say this. When a black man does something to another black man, that's a crime. But when another nation commits a crime against a black, Hispanics, and indigenous, that is an act of war.
Right.
Imagine if America started going around killing Chinese people.
Good night.
That Chinese, what's the place they go to? Consulate. I want to say.
Temple.
No. They every nation got one. Embassy. An embassy. That embassy would be fired up. Let America start killing the Arabs over here. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be another 9/11.
Right.
America does anything to any other nation, it is an act of war. But America shooting blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous down in the streets. They killing us. They raping us. They're setting up systems to oppress us. And it's not even being called a crime. It's not even considered a crime. It's just business as usual. Read that for me right there, system of oppression.
Systems of oppression are individual, institutional, and societal, and their effects on people have a long history deeply rooted in American culture.
So this system of oppression are individual, institutional, and societal, and their effects on people have a long history deeply rooted in American culture. So they're telling you right now that America is deeply rooted in a system of oppression.
Right.
What is systematic oppression? Read that definition of systematic oppression for me.
What is a system of oppression? A a set of principles or procedures.
A set of principles and procedures. Someone has to sit down and create a set of principles and procedures. Someone has to formulate a plan. This has to be conjured up. Read.
According to which something is done. An organized framework or method.
Organized framework or method. This is organized. This is a plan to destroy blacks, Hispanics, and natives.
Right.
They getting together and trying to, like I say, plan this out. That's Tawad. You know what I'm saying? Priests work hard, you feel me? And this is a plan that's formed against us.
Right.
Give me Psalms 83 and 4. I got you, please.
Yeah, okay.
Let me tackle this precept and I get it. I'll get you right.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. This is a plan that's being formalized, a plan that's being devised against the nation of Israel. Just like that set of principles and procedures, this is them getting together, creating a plan. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And their plan is so that the nation of Israel be no more in remembrance. This was prophesied thousands of years ago. And then we read about systematic oppression. Is this not talking about systematic oppression in Psalms 83 and 4? Is that not systematic oppression? We've been, like I said, this was prophesied thousands of years ago that we would be systematically oppressed.
That's right.
Read.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent.
They come together on one accord. When else have you seen all these other nations be able to come together and get along? Never. These other nations can't agree on nothing. But it's one thing that these other nations can agree upon with one consent. Read.
They are confederate against thee.
They confederate against us. They can't never get along no other time but like it. When it comes to destroying niggas, they can come together for that. And what y'all need to realize, it is a reason that all these nations want us destroyed so bad.
That's right.
We are the greatest nation on the face of the planet when we come together.
Right.
We are the strongest nation on the face of this planet when we come together.
That's right.
It's like when you got a hand, one finger can't really do much by itself, you know what I'm saying? One finger can't do nothing. But if you take all 5 of these fingers and you make a fist, that fist starts to become strong. We need to come together and make that fist.
Right.
The nation of Israel needs to come together. The 12 tribes of Israel need to come together to make that fist so we can have some power in our hand.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do. Salaka, go ahead, priest. Want to say something?
Khan, I was just gonna comment about how every black and Hispanic, every goddamn conscious cat to the NAACP to I don't know, everybody, every Johnny Cochran, all them cats, Al Sharpton, they supposedly know about systematic oppression, but what are they doing about it, man? Like, do they really recognize that this country, since its inception, has said that we 3/5 of a man and that slavery has never really been illegalized completely, that it is legal if you are in prison or in jail via the 13th Amendment and so on and so forth, and that blacks and Hispanic systematic oppression has never stopped, but we always stop short to cut a deal or cut short just so we can swim in their swimming pools or eat at their lunch tables and things like that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was going to bring up for you.
And you know, it's heavy because, like you said, do they even realize the systematic oppression? These black leaders, do they even realize it? Not only do they realize it, they've been experiencing it their whole life.
Right.
Right.
They didn't just grow up, you know. They wasn't just born, you know, and put in a black leadership position. They experienced the same systematic oppression that we're talking about. And did they try to bring us together? No. What did they do? They got together with our enemies, and for a little bit of change, helped our enemies destroy us. Don't the scripture say a gift destroyeth the heart? They just want to, hey, you know what, I'm just trying to survive in this world. And to survive in this world, they will step on top of their brothers.
Right.
They will demonize their brothers so they can get ahead.
Right.
That's why we have to come together, because the cards are stacked against us. The fight is fixed against us. We have to rely on each other to beat the odds that are stacked against us right now.
That's right.
That's the only way we're going to overcome this oppression. And how do we come together? Like the scripture says, Zephaniah, we got to come together. We have to love one another. Scripture says you have to love your brother as you love yourself. So just like these black leaders, you know what I'm saying, wanted to step on us to get ahead, well, we have to come together to get ahead.
That's right.
We have to be willing to go against our enemies, not against each other, but we have to be willing to stand up and go against our enemies so we can come up out of this oppression, to get up out of this captivity. Because the only way we're going to get up out of this captivity is with brotherhood.
That's right.
The Lord is not coming back to save a nation that does not love each other.
Right.
Why you think he ain't came back already? The Lord now, you know what I'm saying? We're not waiting on the Lord to come back. The Lord is waiting on us. The Lord is waiting on the 12 tribes of Israel to come back together. Let me get Ecclesiastes 4:9, Baba Kashar. I mean, we have to, you know, really just sit back and think the way that we've been living our life, you know, for all these years hasn't gotten us nowhere. You'll be tricked and think that the civil rights, you know, has gotten us ahead.
Right.
But what do they call that? It's smoke and mirrors.
Right.
That's what that is. It's giving us a little bit, you know, just to have us, you know, a little, you know, just a little content.
Right.
Just so we don't, you know, just so we don't hit the tipping point, you know what I'm saying, to go against our oppressor. They give us little crumbs just to keep us docile. You know, we can't have them riling up too much. We got to throw them some kind of bone. And what do we get? Affirmative action. You give a nigga some food stamps, you know, he'll chill out for a little bit.
Right.
You know, you give a nigga a stimulus check, you know, he'll chill out for a little bit.
Right.
That's what they do. They give us a little something just to keep us quiet. Go ahead, Preach.
Let's like it just briefly, if I could. Like, it's so heavy what you're saying, because back when Harriet Tubman was taking slaves through the Underground Railroad, we were being so heavily oppressed that it was a point where it was either you gonna go to war against your oppressor or you not. You gonna be a slave, you gonna continue to be a slave. So it's absolutely correct what you're saying, sir.
And that's the same as today. Either you're going to come into this truth and you're going to fight for the Lord against your oppressor, because if you're not with the Lord, you what?
Against them.
You against him.
That's right.
So the same holds true today. If you're not going to follow it, if you're not going to follow the Lord, if you're not going to come into this truth and serve the Lord and keep these law, statutes, and commandments and fear the Lord, well, you're going to fight against him.
Right.
Because when he come back, it's going to be too late. Because you might, when he come back, you might not be willing to fight against him, but he damn sure going to fight against you.
Right.
Because he gave us the opportunity. He gave us the opportunity. You got that?
Come.
Read that from about 4 and 9.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9. 2 are better than one.
It's better to be single.
2 are better than one.
It's better to roll solo dolo.
2 are better than one.
2 are better than 1. Read.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Because they have a good reward for their labor. Read.
Verse 10. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
So if we come together and we fall, why is it better to be together? Because if somebody falls, now you got another brother to pick you up.
Right.
Read.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth.
But destruction to him if you alone. Because now you by yourself. And now you ain't got nobody to have your back.
Right.
You ain't got nobody to pick you up when you fall. You know, and some of us have to learn this lesson the hard way.
Right.
I had to learn it the hard way. What it say, 2 are better than 1. Like that analogy I just gave with the fish. You can't make a fish with a finger. It takes a group to make a fist. And in the condition that we're in right now, we'd be crazy to try to fight this fight alone.
Right.
Right.
But we have we have someone that we can join with to help us with this fight. His name is just Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew.
That's right.
Right.
If we just follow these law, statutes, and commandments, the scriptures say he'll be with us. And we come together as a people, as a nation of people, and we can have each other's backs.
Right.
We can be there for each other. We can lend that helping hand to a brother, to a sister. We can protect a brother or a sister.
Right.
But we can't do it alone. Read.
For he hath not another to help him up. Verse 11. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat.
If 2 people together, if it's cold, and you need some heat, but you laying by yourself, how you going to get warm? What it say? If 2 lie together?
If 2 lie together, then they have heat.
Listen, if 2 people come together, you got somebody that's there for you.
Right.
And this is a parable, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, it's real life.
You got someone that can keep you warm. Read.
But how can one be warm alone?
How can one be warm alone? If we don't come together, we always going to be on the outside looking in.
Right.
If we don't come together, we're always going to be alone because our oppressor is not about to join with us. He just wants you to think that he's willing to join with you. He just wants you to think that your plight is his plight.
Right.
But he's the one that is against you.
Right.
He's the one that's secretly creating
the plight in your community, man.
He's the one that's secretly creating the
Plight.
I want to say elements, but that's not the word I
It's-
want to
it's-
use. Though. He is the one that's creating that situation against you.
That's right.
So the one that's creating it, why in the hell would he want to stop? Why in the hell would he want to help you if he's creating the situation?
Right.
If someone started a fire, you don't go to that person to put out the fire.
Right.
Go ahead, Priest.
Salaki. You know, and what you're saying, Priest, is so heavy because when the crack epidemic started by the CIA and the U.S. government under Ronald Reagan, they had the cure and they had a medication that would cure crack addiction. But they started it, so why would they give you the medicine? You know what I'm saying? Just like they have a medication and a cure for opioid addiction, they had it and still have it for crack. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. We can continually, every voting cycle, every presidential election, we cast our hopes and our prayers. We pray to white men. We pray to Joe Biden that he fixed the ghetto, that he saved my black mother and my black grandma and make sure they don't get evicted from their house and this and that. When you need to pray to God. Right. You need to hope. You need to cast your hopes into your brothers, man. That's the only people you looking to get warmth and the salvation and comfort from the men who are burning your house down. Right. From the people who are destroying your livelihood, who put you in the situation that you're in. Now, how crazy do you look? And that's what this priest Kangabar is bringing out. This is what priest 2 Times is bringing out right now. He is showing you how mentally ill the black community is, because they instead of looking at their situation and realizing why they're in it, realizing how they got in it and why they're still in it and fixing it, they continually shovel and dig the hole deeper. The black and Hispanic and Native American community need to cast away everyone who isn't black, Hispanic, and Native American. Get with their own, man, and realize and cast away the culture of their oppressor. Cast away the pastimes of their oppressor. This voting will never help you. This voting will never solve the crack problem in your family, the alcoholism in your family, the homosexuality, the molestation, the rapes in your family. But what will solve it is your brothers and sisters under Christ. Right. Your brothers and sisters in the Isupk trained to fix the ills of the black community with the authority of God and with the knowledge and the truth written of in the Bible, man. That's what'll save your community, man.
Hey, damn right. And you know what's even heavy, is because of internalized oppression. You might be a Jew outwardly, but you your damn oppressor inwardly.
Right.
I mean, you following all their ways. Their ways have became acceptable to you. I could tell you a Jew, you know what I'm saying, by looking at you. You can tell me who your father is. But if you still follow his ways, if you still, accept his ways because of that internalized oppression, that's who you are.
Right.
Right.
You could tell me all day who you are.
Right.
But your actions will show me who you are.
That's right.
And listen, some of the negative effects of oppression makes a person feel weak and defective. So because of this oppression that we have sustained over this period of time, it makes us feel weak and defective, which makes it even more harder to come up out of it.
Right.
It gives us a feeling of not being able to recover up out of this oppression.
Right.
It makes us feel like a criminal because we're being oppressed. It's like, damn, are we this bad? Did I do something wrong? How many innocent brothers have been shot down and been innocent and unarmed?
Right.
Now we have to talk to our children like they criminals.
Right.
God damn.
We have to sit and tell our children, hey, do this, you get pulled over, do this,
right.
Do this. I know you ain't do nothing wrong. I know, but this is what you got to do.
Right.
Being talked to as if we have become a criminal.
Right.
Like we have done something wrong.
Right. Nobody else got to do that.
No other race has to do that.
Right. That's right.
What other race has a conversation, sits their black children down at the age of 4, 5, 6 years old
Right.
and teaches them how they need to behave in the presence of a police officer.
Right.
So they don't get killed.
Right. Nobody. That's nobody.
No other race has to go through this. Go ahead, Priest.
It's like if I could real quick, like we gotta do all these things with our children, and when our children ask, well, why do I gotta do this, and why do I have to behave this way? Why is this happening to our people? Not once do we do we tell our children because our oppressor, the white man, is the goddamn devil about this.
That's
Right.
That's right. And that's right.
And like he was saying, like no other race, has to do this with their children. It also gives the feeling of being ashamed. A lot of us, we'll go turn to that white man to get a crumb at his table because we feel as being black that it's shameful.
Damn.
Right.
And what I'm doing is I'm reading down a list, of negative effects that their studies say is caused by internalized oppression.
Right.
Feeling frightened. I know a whole bunch of brothers and sisters that's scared to go out their house.
Right.
Because they don't know if they're going to make it back.
Right.
Right.
That's scared to go to work. Because if they walk into the bus or from the bus or a cop pulls up on them, they don't know if they're going to make it home.
Right.
Like they're not a proper man or not a proper father or a proper mother. This is also an effect of internalized oppression. And y'all telling me we don't need to come together as a people? Y'all telling me now is not the time to love one another?
Right.
And show compassion and love, understanding for one another? If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it.
Right.
That's right.
And it don't take much. It takes a little bit of humbleness, a little bit of meekness, a little bit of compassion.
Right.
And I know it's in us. I know it's in us because we give it to another race of people every day.
Right.
It's not that we're not capable of it. Let me get Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Okay.
Like I brought out earlier, because we have suffered from this oppression, we have started to go mad. We've started to go crazy. We've started, and it's not even about living no more. Like he was bringing out when we had the conversation with our children. It's not about them living. It's about them surviving.
Right.
We don't even fight to live no more. We're fighting every day to survive.
That's right.
And we call this home. We call America our home. We call ourselves American citizens. We want to join with this country. But we still got to wake up every morning and fight. It's like it. Just to survive.
Right.
Read that for me, Bob Kishore.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression.
Surely what?
Surely oppression.
Oppression. We've been talking about oppression the whole day. And it says, surely oppression.
Maketh a wise man mad.
It don't even say just maketh a man mad. It say maketh a wise man mad.
Right.
Oppression is making our wise men mad. And one of those reasons that we've been discussing, all night is because when you're oppressed for a sustained amount of time, now you start to oppress yourself.
That's right.
You can't tell me when you oppress yourself that doesn't make you mad.
Right.
Because I know you don't want to do it. It's not something that we want to do. But because of what we've been going through, And because of that internalizing oppression, we become to normalize our oppression.
That's it.
Oppression to blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous is normalized now. We accept what these oppressors are doing to us.
Right.
We just try to make the best out of a messed up situation, that's all. You want to say something, priest?
Con, just exactly to your point, you know, a definition of the old English word mad is like insanity. That's a synonym for it. Madness, insanity, mental illness. Oppression makes even a wise man, like you were saying, priest, mentally ill. You know
Insane, like you said.
And this oppression that we have been suffering has made us all mentally ill. It's given us all PTSD. You know, it's made us all crazy, man.
Right.
It's made us all think that up is down and down is up, and we thinking that we can sell enough crack rocks and get out the hood. We thinking that we can kill enough black cats, sell enough, put enough mixtapes out on SoundCloud, and we gonna make it somewhere, do this or that or the other, man. What really what you gotta do is fix your mind, man. Fix your heart, as it is in the Bible. In the Bible, your heart is your mind, man. You gotta set your heart right, as it's written up in the Bible. Set your heart right on the ways that the Lord put forward for you, black man, Hispanic man, and Native man, and you know, and then everything that you want will open up. You know what I'm saying? Everything that is good for you will be available to you, man. That's in the Bible too. But every day you try to cut your brother short. Every day you try to take a shortcut and try to follow the path that your oppressor left for you. That's every day you stay in your madness. You stay with your mental illness, and you never change. And you stay in the ghetto that he built for you.
Right.
Salaki.
No, that's heavy because it says oppression is maketh a wise man mad. We have become so insane that we don't even want to fight up out of this condition that we're in.
That's right.
We don't even want to give ourselves a chance.
Right.
We have accepted defeat. That's what we have done. We've accepted defeat. But Commanding General Yohana is raising up soldiers, raising us priests and prophets that refuse to be defeated.
That's right.
That is going to do everything in their bones, with everything in their bones and their body to fight up out of this oppression.
Right.
And not only to fight for themselves, but to fight for their brothers and their sisters. Fight for the ones that's not willing to do it, fight for the ones that's not able to do it, and fight for the ones who just don't care about doing it.
That's right. That's right.
And listen, our oppressor has no love for us, and we know that. And he seeks to destroy us with his systems of oppression and his gifts. Salaki, finish that out. Salaki.
Surely,
Start from the water.
surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
It says a gift destroyeth the heart. Even though we insane, we'll accept those gifts, that our oppressor gives to us. Because again, he gives them to us, so because we insane, so we don't wild out on him.
Right.
So we don't start storming the Capitol building. So we don't start storming the White House.
Right.
And start storming all these other, places. He'll give us a gift to keep us calm. But not only does this devil hate you, they hate the Lord too.
That's right. That's right.
Let me get John 15 and 18. If this oppressor hates the Lord, it's no surprise why he hates us so much.
Right.
I mean, they killed our Lord and hung him and slew him on a tree.
Right.
Right.
And then what did that do to our people? They took our people, slew him, and hung him on a tree.
Right.
The water. Read that for me, Wabba Show.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
So Christ already told us they was going to hate us because they hated him first.
Right.
We don't expect people to go around, loving us. We don't expect people to go around accepting, niggas in boots and braids and shades, chains and rings and things.
Right.
We don't expect no love from nobody.
Right.
Because we know where our power comes from. We know where our love comes from. The Lord say, if they hate you, just know they hated him first.
Right.
Don't let that stop you from doing the work. Don't let that stop you from loving your brother.
Right.
Don't let that stop you from coming together with your people. That is to be expected. Let me see. Where I want to go with this. Let me get Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Because we need to put our trust, our love, our faith in one another.
That's right.
Because this enemy of ours has shown, and his track record has shown that he cannot be trusted.
That's right. Perceives itself.
This devil's track record precedes itself.
Yeah. If I could.
Go ahead, priest.
From the 500 plus treaties they made with the Native American, the northern Native American Indians alone, to everything they supposedly promised blacks and Hispanics from, what did they say, 40 acres and a mule. We gonna give y'all good civil rights, good jobs, this thing and that thing. And steadily murdering us on a upward hill climb on the charts. This devil's record precedes itself, but every year we triple and double and quadruple down on our bets for him. We cast our lots. We say, if Obama didn't do it, Joe Biden will do it, as if one was better than the other. This, like, the thing is, what did they say? If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And blacks are, and another thing that they say is, insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And
Right.
that's exactly what we do. We keep putting we keep putting everything on the same horse, and the same horse keep letting us down. In fact, the same horse run off the track and kick us in the face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we need to stop putting our money in the race, in the racing entirely, and put our money in our family, man. So
That's right. We need to put everything that we got into another black man, another Hispanic man, another indigenous man. Because all of us, they try to separate us and make us think that we're different. But you know why? Because a house divided cannot stand.
Right.
And they've taken this house of Israel and divided it. You got Puerto Ricans over here. You got Dominicans over here. They the same goddamn people. You got Haitians over here. You got Jamaicans over here. They the same goddamn people. You got niggas over here. You got savages over here. We all the same goddamn people. Imagine if we all came together, who could stand up against us? But again, this beast is more cunning than any beast in the field.
Right.
No one ever said he was dumb. Wicked as hell, yeah. But nobody ever said this devil was dumb.
Right.
And look at all the things that he's done over the thousands of years. I'm not even going to insult myself by saying he's dumb. He is a very smart man.
Most subtle beast on the field.
Right. Right.
Cunning hunter.
Read that for me. Uncle Sean.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 12.
12 and 10.
Chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Never trust an enemy, because just like iron rusted, for sure it's going to rust. For sure it is going to rust. So is his wickedness. For sure he will be wicked. Give me Psalms 55 and 21. He is guaranteed to be wicked.
Yes, pray.
That's how the Lord made him. The Lord says, what's made crooked, what can be made straight?
Right.
The Lord made this wicked oppressor this way.
That's right.
And this is a for sure thing that he is going to be wicked. Listen, not only do, listen, every nation on the face of this planet hates this oppressor that is oppressing blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous, and over here in America. Every nation hates him. They just deal with him and tolerate him. The air hates him. The ground hates him.
The sun.
The water hates him.
That's right.
The sun hates every
right.
being, living being, everything on the face of the planet hates him.
Right.
Why? What did that scripture say? Salakia. No sweat. It says, as sure as iron rusted, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Right.
Everything on the face of the planet knows that this oppressor is wicked.
That's right.
Right.
That he is the deceiver on the face of the planet, the devil. If not him, then who?
Right.
That's what the scriptures say. If not him, then who? Let me get that.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Oh, he'll talk a good game. Oh, he'll tell you some good things, that you want to hear. Read.
But war was in his heart.
But war is in his heart. Every day, war is committed against black, Hispanic, and indigenous in America.
Right.
Every day. Every second of the day. War. But because he gives us a gift, we think that, he's fine, he's cool, if you're in this condition, it's because you wanted to be in this condition. Everybody has the same opportunities. Well, we just read about systematic racism, systematic oppression. These are systems. So if we all had the same opportunities, then why do these terms exist?
Right.
Right.
If we are all created equal, why do these terms exist? Keep reading.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Listen, he's always drawing a sword against you. Like we brought out earlier, a black man commits a crime against another black man, it's a crime. But your oppressor commits a crime against you, it is an act of war. And the scriptures are verifying that. It says war was in his heart. That's what he knows. His gift, he was blessed with the sword.
That's right.
And he damn sure uses it. Keep reading. That's it? No. But give me Matthew 5 and 44. So the scriptures say, never trust thine enemies, right? That's what it say, right? Never trust thine enemy, right? Read that when you got it. 5 and 44.
Okay. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies.
But I thought the scripture just said, never trust your enemies.
Love your enemies.
See, what y'all don't realize is when the Bible says that God loves everybody in John 3:16, when God tells you, to love your enemies, he's not talking about everybody outside the nation of Israel. He is talking about the nation of Israel. You are to love your enemies within your own people.
Right.
Because we do have issues with each other. Like you read all through the Bible where Israel went to, the northern and the southern kingdom went to war. So when he tells you to love your enemies, he's not talking about these other nations. When the scriptures tell you to love your enemies, he's talking about love that brother that you got a problem with. Love that brother that you got an issue with because he stole from you.
Right.
Love that brother, have some compassion, have some forgiveness against that brother that did commit a murder against someone in your family. Because you know what? He is your family too. These are the enemies that we're supposed to love. We're not supposed to love our enemies of other nations. Read.
Bless them that curse you.
Bless the ones that curse you. If your brother cursed you, bless that brother.
Lord be with him.
Lord be with him, because he don't have to worry about him, and you don't have to worry about him. He don't have to worry about you, and you don't have to worry about him. You got to worry about the Lord.
Right.
You let the Lord deal with that brother. But you make sure you remain blameless.
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about this, because if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, if you come back to the Most High, you got somebody that's going to fight your battles for you.
Right.
You don't have to, pick up no weapons and go fight nobody. You don't have to, commit, any crimes against your brother. You don't have to worry about getting back at that brother, revenge. The Lord is going to fight for you. Read.
Do good to them that hate you.
Do good to your brothers that hate you. Whatever issue y'all might have, whatever wrong he might have done, whatever wrong you might have done to them, do good to them that hate you. Read.
And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
So if someone does something wrong to you, if they despitefully use you, don't worry about getting back at that brother. Don't worry about getting no revenge. You know what you do? You take it to the Lord in prayer.
Right.
That's what you do.
That's right.
Let me get I got you. I got it. You want me to stop right now? Most High Christ, I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying. You want to do that? Okay, no sweat. Let me see. Let me get Matthew 18 and 19. Let me get two more precepts. We're gonna get on up out of here. Because this is all about coming back to becoming a family again.
Right.
Coming back to loving one another. Coming back and healing ourselves as a nation. Because right now we are a nation that's divided. We are a nation that has no power.
Right.
Read.
This book of Matthew chapter 18 verse 19. Again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven.
So that's all we got to get together. We just got to come together, and anything that we want, anything that we need, we take it to the Lord in prayer.
That's right.
We go to the Lord. And it say if two are agreed on earth, then whatever you ask of them shall be given to you.
Right.
So again, our job is not to try to avenge ourselves against our brothers, our enemies, against nobody. Because like I said, we have someone that's going to stand up for us.
That's right.
We have somebody who's going to avenge this oppression that we've been going through here in America. Let me get Romans 12 and 19.
The book of Romans chapter 12 verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
Avenge not yourselves. Read.
But rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, and I will repay, saith the Lord.
Saith who?
Saith the Lord.
The Lord said vengeance is his. The Lord said he will repay it.
That's right.
It's not our job to go around trying to seek vengeance.
Right.
The Lord is going to take care of that for us. We'll just end it there. Alright. Again, this was the Brotherhood class, and we were talking about why it was so important for the nation of Israel to come together.
Right.
And we brought out some heavy topics and some heavy points of the things, that we've been going through in these 500 years over here in America. And so the thing that should stick out, to you is, above all things, it's time for us to come together as a nation of people.
Right.
It's time for us to get over our pride. It's time for us to get over, whatever feelings that we in, so we can serve the Lord. All right? And we need to gather together, like Zephaniah 2:1 and say, gather together, nation that's not desired. These nations around about us are showing that we're not desired.
That's right.
And so we need to gather together. And once we start to gather together, and once we start to show that love, that we can get up out of this hellhole. We can get up out of this captivity. All right? And with that, we're going to yield. Pass the class over to Trooper Salakia. Officer of 50, Carl Kazan.
You want me to take it pretty?
Nah, I got it. I'll be quick. These are the Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk, start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment, in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Ma'ashara means tenth in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund is a free will offer for priests. It's not mandatory. It's whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We have the memorial of blowing of trumpets, the first day of the 7th month, Monday, 6th of September 2021. In Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24 and 25. Remind Akim and Akwathian to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boot, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And this concludes Isupk security announcements.
All right, tomorrow is the law class starting at 8 o'clock. Tune in. The water to everybody who tuned in. Hopefully we got all the questions that was in the chat. If there are some questions that we didn't get to in the chat, Lord willing, we'll address them tomorrow. All right, and with that, shalom.